This episode is structured a little differently than you're probably used to with us. On Sunday, we recorded a pregame and postgame show for Game 7 between the St. Louis Blues and the Winnipeg Jets. So in its entirety, you will hear the pregame show and then the postgame show on this episode. We hope you enjoy.
Hi, everybody. This is Ken Wilson. Once upon a time, I broadcast blues hockey. I always listen to Let's Go Blues Radio. It's everything you'll want as a blues fan. Oh, baby.
Are you a first responder, a veteran, a doctor, a nurse, a teacher, or a Let's Go Blues Radio listener? Of course you are. If you're in the market to buy or sell a home, call real estate superstar Mike Burgoyne today at 314-753-4060 or email him at mike@strikewithmike.com to earn special rates today.
60 Pickleball is an industry leader in high-end pickleball paddles. Use discount code CPRICE10 to get 10% off at 60pickleball.com. Don't get stuck on the court with an inferior paddle. Go next level with 60.
Have you subscribed to the LGB Minute podcast yet? It's a 5-minute weekly St. Louis Blues podcast hosted by Jeff Ponder that is released multiple times a week to fill the gap between Let's Go Blues Radio episodes. Subscribe today.
Get ready to hear some noise tonight. You're just seconds away from Let's Go Blues Radio.
The Blues score! Oh, baby! The Blues score! McKinnon shoots and scores! 1-0 ahead to Hull. He's got a breakaway. Safety shoots. He scores! Oh, baby, do you believe it? Scores in a drive. He scores! Baby, Chris Pronger! Wow, what great goaltending! They score! Joe Murphy! The Twister! Jacob hits the hill. Sellout crowd. Oh, baby!
Let's show this prehistoric bitch how we do things downtown.
Welcome to Season 14, Episode 32 of Let's Go Blues Radio. This is episode number 513 all-time of the often imitated, never duplicated. You trying to say Jesus Christ can't hit a curveball? We're the original St. Louis Blues hockey podcast, Let's Go Blues Radio, broadcasting live. This is our Game 7 preview show before the Blues face off against the Winnipeg Jets in about an hour. To interact with the show on social media, or handle all the socials is at LGB Radio. I am Kurt Price, and my co-hosts for the big show tonight are Bill Day and Bill Day will be joining us shortly, but Jeff Ponder actually made it on time tonight, so he is...
Bill is actually facing allegations for not being here on time. That's why he's not here.
He's on his way back from the hearing from those allegations. They ran long. It's traffic court. The agenda for tonight's show includes discussion about Game 7, right? And and some incidents and games leading up to Game 7, I guess. So all that more on the latest live episode of Let's Go Blues Radio. Jeff, we're going to have some fun in about an hour.
Game 7, baby. This is what we live for. This is... I was at Game 6, which I'm sure we'll talk about, but dude, that game, that was one, and I'm not just saying this because of recency bias. That was one of the best games I've ever been to live. Like, the crowd was insane. That was probably the second loudest I've ever heard Enterprise, and I'm not just saying that. It was nuts all night, and I love it.
I mean, you said you said it's like bananas in here. And
yeah.
I was like, I can imagine, man. It was bananas in my house. I mean, I can imagine how it is with 19,000 fans in one building just going ballistic.
My wife, like, I couldn't even hear her at one point. My wife's a loud lady. You've met my wife. She's loud like I am. And, like, I couldn't even hear her. I kept telling her, like, speak up. I can't hear you. And she was sitting right next to me. I mean, it was nuts. It was fantastic. And I heard that the TNT crew, somebody might have been Biz, said something along the lines of like, it's an absolute nut house at Enterprise Center. And I'm like, yes, it definitely is.
Yep. The Blues will be playing their first Game 7 since the Stanley Cup final in 2019, which was a 4-1 win on the road at TD Garden against the Bruins. Everyone remembers they have won each of the last 4 Game 7s. Binnington is 2-0 in Game 7s. And in 2 career Game 7s, Binnington has a .82 goals against average and a .968 save percentage. So he's money in series deciding games. And in the Four Nations Championship game, he did stop 31 shots and was a god in the crease in his team's 3-2 overtime win. So
was. And we've got in the chat here, All Vegeta, that's a new live listener, says, "Go Jets, go." And Matt Harris responds with, "Go home, Jets, go."
I think the Jets went in game 5. They're spent. They're done.
Oh, I don't know if I like the confidence or if you're making me nervous that you're.
No, I'm screwing around. I'm just trash talking for fun.
I will say,
obviously, I'm nervous as hell.
We're going to talk about this throughout the show here, but I do not. Connor Hellebuyck was not good in Game 5. That Snuggerud goal was one of the weakest goals of the series.
That was bad.
I just feel like if the Blues would have put the puck on net more, it would have been a much different outcome. So I think that is, to me, the key. And pucks on Hellebuyck.
And, you know, I agree. And, I mean, obviously, right? His career playoff numbers are horrendous. So, obviously, pucks on net. But, you know, credit to Winnipeg. Because I think chances in that game, the Blues were up there. But they just couldn't get – I mean, Winnipeg was blocking a lot of shots. They did miss the net a number of times on some good chances they had. But yeah, like I agree. Had the puck, bottom line, has to get on net. Has to. I mean, you've got to have. I mean, just to throw out a random number, 25 plus shots at least in this game. I'm thinking.
I'd say even 20. Honestly,
I mean, because if they're through 2 periods with like 12 shots on goal, I'm pissed. I'm like, this is ridiculous. 5-6 shots a period, which has happened in this series.
It has.
And to be fair, that's happened both sides. To be fair, it's happened both sides. I mean, Winnipeg only had, was it 3 shots in the first period last game? Something like that? 3 or 4?
Something like that. Yep.
So, it's defensive hockey is playoff hockey, right? I mean, stuff gets tight out there. So, and I think we've got.
I don't add him yet. It looks like his camera's not working, but yes, Bill is in the building.
Bill is in the building.
And then we got Matt, you're asking for trouble here. He says, "I'll take a shot for every shot the Blues take tonight." Man, I hope they pile on 50 shots.
He's gonna pass out in halfway through the first period.
I was gonna say, even if they get 4 shots, that's a lot.
I mean, you're not gonna be awake for the Blues clinching in Game 7. Oh, let's get the.
Got it.
There we go. Hey, Bill.
Man.
William.
Really missed an opportunity there with the Bill has entered the building. I almost grabbed my last Fat Elvis. That would have been perfect.
Oh, that would have been good.
That would have been great.
Haven't missed too much. Just got a Jets fan in the chat, so that's fun.
Yeah.
Welcome.
Yeah. So just running down, getting excited about Game 7. Blues have fared well in Game 7s recently.
How does this feel, Kurt? Apparently, Ken Morris says you're the Steve Ott of podcasters.
Which one? The infamous Blues fan on social media that I went to high school with, Steve Ott, that Bill used to work with? How does he?
I'm guessing he means the famous Steve Ott. Come on.
The other Steve Ott should be famous in his own right for like chasing down 2 assholes that stole a Canada jersey.
That was amazing.
Hockey.
That was amazing. That will go down in a select circle lore, right?
Same trip where your brother almost got his all destroyed by Hal Gill.
Yes, and we
all know the stories.
That Steve Ott, friend of ours, Steve Ott. That story. Yeah, somebody stole or took someone's Canada that blue jersey and took off. It was after the Team Canada Team USA game in Columbus, and he ran down the street, chased him down, and I assume wrestled it back from him and then brought it back into the bar to like a hero's welcome. So that was pretty cool.
Yeah, it was pretty awesome.
What channel is the game on? Is it
TBS?
Well, be on Fox Sports?
No. It should be on Bally's, but not Bally's.
FanDuel.
FanDuel.
If you choose to watch that broadcast,
I haven't even chose to turn on TBS. Are they simulcasting or is it just on FanDuel?
No, they've been broadcasting every game. I have not watched a single second.
I haven't either.
After game 1 of FanDuel because it was getting to me a little too much.
Gotcha.
Yeah, I just think it's funny, by the way, that I called it Fox Sports, then Kurt called it Bally's, and we had to be corrected. We were both incorrect.
We should call Enterprise Center Keel Center.
Keel Sports, right? It's Keel Sports.
Let's call it Keel, and then we'll call it Savis. No, Scott Trade. No, Enterprise.
Let's just call it Riverport.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. It's Riverport Sports.
It's always Riverport to me.
It should always be the arena. That'd be kind of cool.
Although,
yeah, true. The Blues do hold a 10-8 record in Game 7s in franchise history, including a 5-6 record on the road. So, and St. Louis could become the 5th straight team to win a Game 7 against the President's Trophy winners, with opposing teams holding a 7-3 record in Game 7s against the league's top team over the past 20 years. So,
we're outside of the sample size.
That includes the 2000 Blues, right? It has to.
20 years?
No, 20 years.
Oh.
We're outside that sample size.
But you could go back a few more years, and the Blues would be in that. Yeah. Let's not talk about that, though.
Yeah.
No.
That would help exercise some of the demons from that year, maybe a little bit.
I think all those demons were exercised in 19, personally.
Yeah, I mean, that's you talk about something that wiped the slate clean from all the past frustrations, right?
Yep.
Whew.
I agree.
I almost want to go back and repair that hole in my floor that Bill put in with his fist when Nolan scored from outside the blue line on Turek.
Your family doesn't own that property anymore, do they?
No, I don't think so. I hope not.
I still just don't get why Turek jumped.
I know.
He jumped to make that save. What are you doing?
I know exactly why he jumped.
You couldn't see it.
He was a bad goalie.
I was waiting for it.
I guess, not being a goalie, but based on, so I assume he was just kind of assuming the period was going to be over. It was 10 seconds to go. And I don't think he was expecting a shot, and it came in high, and he was down low, and he just jumped up. I don't know. Reaction. Just a bad look. Just a bad look.
Never. You're a 6'4" goalie, and you're jumping to save a shot on net. Makes no sense.
My daughter and I literally watched that goal the other night, like 2 nights ago. She was asking about it. I said, I'll show you. It's painful. I'll show you.
I'll admit that one does still haunt me as a kid. That was my 15th birthday.
Yeah.
I know I've told the story a million times, but yeah, that was a game where I was like, this is the start of the cup run. They're going to win this one. They're going to go on a tear. Nope.
That was the year that Jamal Mayers, didn't he shave the tiger?
Yeah.
The tiger dyes
stripes.
Yeah, tiger and the stripes in his eyebrows. Yeah, they were. It's sad to say that Blues team was probably way too cocky.
Yeah.
Going in.
Yeah, they were.
So, and it bit them.
Well, and losing Dimitro really hurt them too. I think if they would have had one of their leading scorers, I think it would have been a different series.
True.
That's what Winnipeg fans will be saying in 20 years about losing Scheifele.
That's a nice little segue. We can take our quick little commercial break here before we get into the Scheifele talk and Cam Fowler's dominance in this series. But yeah, we'll where's that? There it is. I couldn't find it. You're listening to Let's Go Blues Radio with Kurt, Bill, and Jeff.
After these messages, we'll be right back.
As a hockey player, Mike Burgoyne knows a thing or two about making the perfect play. And when it comes to real estate, he's always ready to score the winning goal for his clients. If you're a first responder, a veteran, a doctor, a nurse, a teacher, or a Let's Go Blues Radio listener looking to score the home of your dreams, you'll receive special rates with Mike. Go ahead, shoot some questions his way, and he'll have the answer quicker than Curtis Joseph on a breakaway.
Curtis Joseph got the paddle down!
Any barriers? Mike will mow them down like Chris Pronger in front of the net. He'll score you your dream home or sell your existing home faster than a Brett Hall one-timer.
Put past the Hall, he shoots, he scores!
See Burgoyne's real estate prowess in action today by emailing him at mike@strikewithmike.com or by calling 314-753-4060. That email again is mike@strikewithmike.com, and that phone number is 314-753-4060. Getting Mike Burgoyne on your team will be the boost your power play needs.
Attention pickleball players. 6-0 Pickleball is an industry leader in high-end pickleball paddles. From the Paddle of the Year Double Black Diamond to the Kevlar-faced Ruby paddles, 6-0 has the perfect paddle to take your game to the next level. And while I have your attention, consider upgrading your pickleball bag to the highly touted Pro Tour bag or the Performance Backpack in some fantastic colors. 6-0 is also your place to stock up on paddle grips and edge guards. 6-0 has everything you need to elevate your game. And as long as you're playing well, you might as well look good too with 6-0's performance shirts, hats, and arm sleeves. Use discount code CPRICE10 for 10% off your entire purchase at 60pickleball.com. That's CPRICE10. Don't you dare get stuck on the court with inferior equipment. Go next level with 6-0.
We already know that you love hockey, and you obviously already love the Let's Go Blues radio podcast, but what about filling the gap between weekly Let's Go Blues radio episodes? That's where the LGB Minute comes in. Hosted by Jeff Ponder, the LGB Minute is an entertaining, down and dirty 5-minute St. Louis Blues podcast released multiple times a week to keep you informed of all things St. Louis Blues. So make sure to subscribe to the LGB Minute anywhere you listen to podcasts. Like right now. Do it now. Just click subscribe. It's easy. For the love of God, please.
And now, back to Let's Go Blues Radio, the longest running St. Louis Blues podcast with Price, Ponder, and Day.
So the talk of the internet since Game 5 has been Schen's hit on Scheifele. So I almost wanted to do a show, a post-game show after that game, just to talk about this play. So the Jets color commentator, Kevin Sawyer, said on TSN that he felt the hit was late and high. He was also complaining about Scheifele being targeted in this series, being hit 16 times through his injury in Game 5 until he left. Everyone, and Jeff and I talked about this before the show, everyone has been getting hit in this series. It's not just Scheifele. He's not being picked on, and no one else is being hit. Everybody's getting hit. It's a rough series.
Yep. And I'm gonna steal something from my friends over at the Puck Podcast. Shout out to Eddie Garcia and Doug Stolhand. They typically do something called Puck Podcast Theater, where they reenact a moment that happened behind the scenes or either in the press conferences. I'm gonna add a little flair to it, though. We're gonna do a Let's Go Blues radio theater. Are we ready, folks? Let's hear it.
Let's go.
Kurt knows what's coming. Bill does not, because you're not here for pregame. So, okay. So first, Jim Montgomery gave a press conference. So first I will be speaking as Jim Montgomery. Then I will be speaking as Scott Arniel, head coach of the Winnipeg Jets. So first of all, in Game 5, after the game ended and they were doing their coaching press conferences, here is what Mr. Jim Montgomery had to say.
Let's make it clear. Scheifele got hurt from the Faxa hit. He played 6 minutes after the Schenn hit. He didn't come back after he got rocked by Faxa.
I didn't know Monty got his medical degree trying to say how our player got hurt. He's way off base. He should not make that comment. There's some things that have been going on in this series. That was a repeat of what we've seen before. A player leaving his feet and then hitting a player in a very unprotected spot, hitting him in the sense of almost blindsiding him. Not happy how the call was made, 2-minute minor, not even looking at it for review is what I was upset about. It is something we have talked to the league about for 5 games. Wah, 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 wah. And that... Oh.
That is a direct quote. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I mean, we've all heard that, right? I mean, exactly like that.
It's just the thing that gets me, like you said, Kurt, is this is every player. Every player is getting rocked. I'm trying to find it. There is a site that keeps track of hits received, like hits taken. I guarantee you Scheifele is right in the mix. He's not getting targeted. This is everybody. There was 86 hits in Game 1, for Christ's sake.
Yep.
Like, good Lord.
Did you see the what Jeremy Boyer put up on? I think it was Jeremy Boyer put up on Twitter, I guess it was, or X. Maybe it was YouTube. I think it was Twitter. The rock by Faxa to Rock the Casbah. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I was just looking for that. I was gonna. That'd be a perfect outro for this. Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely perfect. Like the way Monty said it goes perfect with the song.
And it's great because he's got the themed, he puts a song to some of the games, right? The theme for the game is going to be a song. So it's just like perfectly that fits his thing. But okay, so this hit, I put something out there on Twitter. It was a still shot of the moment that Schenn makes contact with Scheifele, and it shows Schen's skates still on the ice the moment he makes contact. Don't get me wrong, it is super close whether his skates are off the ice when he makes contact. I mean, one frame forward after he makes contact, his skates are leaving the ice. But at the moment of contact, the still skates are on the ice. And I said there's no elbow. The hits to the chest. It wasn't late. He had just played the puck like a half second before that. So and I said, can we all shut the fuck up about this hit now? Because I didn't think there was anything blatantly that was a penalty, or for God's sake to be suspended. They're calling for 3 and 5 game suspensions for this. I'm like, okay. So I wake up and there's like 600 replies, and I'm like, holy shit. So a bunch of Winnipeg fans saw it, got a hold of it. I guess it got passed around. But it was. I don't know. I your guys' thoughts. We haven't really talked about this.
Same game. Oscar Sundqvist gets elbowed in the face and gets an embellishment penalty. Like
what?
I don't get how you can say that this has been one-sided at all. Both teams are having. First of all, I will just say it. I have not been a fan of the officiating in this series.
It's
right
terrible.
when games feel like they're getting in a flow, they call an unnecessary penalty for both sides.
Yep. I agree.
And I've not been a fan. So first of all, both teams I think are getting hurt by terrible over officiating, and second of all, I think that the hits have gone the both ways. Like there's been questionable and big hits going both ways, and I love that type of hockey. When did hockey fans get so soft?
Well,
give me this kind of series. I have loved this.
Winnipeg's their number one center is out. So I get the anger about that situation. I get the frustration. They're missing Scheifele, big part of their offense. I get it. I get they're upset. But facts are facts, right? You can't look at a video and look at a still picture and they're just describing shit that's not happening or didn't happen. And so, and like I said, it's super close. It is. But if you got to zoom in on a real tight shot on his skates to see if they're a millimeter off the ice before he makes contact, I was like, what are we doing? I mean, come on. I mean, they shouldn't be mad at Schenn or the officiating, even though the officiating that wasn't an interference call. That shouldn't have been interference. It was a reaction to a violent. Keith Price says, "Mom and Dad are listening." My brother.
Oh, watch your mouth, Kurt.
Yeah.
Better not bring up those escapades you had in college.
Hey, they know when it comes to hockey, the filters are off. They've went to plenty of my hockey games that they heard a lot of stuff. But yeah. So and Scheifele played the puck. He literally plays the puck. He chops at it, and it goes back up into Preko's pads, and then he gets rocked. So people are calling for interference. Not an interference call. It's not late. I mean, he played it and he got hit. It was violent. The problem is that it's a reactionary call. Oh my God, it's a violent hit. Got to be interference. Got to call something. So I mean, it's. I am stupefied at all of the people looking at the video, looking at the stills, and seeing this play, and they're just saying stuff that didn't happen.
I think it's a lot of the quiet crowd or the minority being loud is what's happening here, because
it's a lot of minority.
I think that's
fans, what the internet does, right?
Yeah,
sure. I get it.
I think most fans that I've talked to, like I've got a friend that's a Jets fan. Most that I've talked to about the hit say, yeah, that was nothing. There was nothing there. Like
the Jets Kevin Sawyer, Jets color commentator. He's on TSN.
I know, but he's a homer, and he's gonna. And I'm not saying it's
Blues
okay.
legend. Kevin Sawyer.
Yes, that's true.
6 games with the Blue Note, 96. I think.
Yeah, where's his loyalty to the Blues? Come on,
Right.
man.
But it's not just that. It's it's the TSN representative that works with is associated with Barstool. Pollock is his last name. He's ranting and raving.
Matt Harris says, as a fan of Jesse Pollock, dude is so out of touch on this hit. Absurd.
Thank you. That's what I was talking about.
And again, I do think it is. I think I would say I would think the majority of hockey fans don't agree with that take. I think most that I've talked to that I know are intelligent hockey fans, not just Blues fans, are like, yeah, that was a clean hit. Like Arneal's game has been chipped, trying to get the captain suspended.
It's a violent hit. And he destroyed him. And
he did.
Hockey's a rough game. And sometimes guys get hurt on clean hits. I don't want to be that guy that says keep your head up. But this is literally a case of he chopped at the puck and he looked behind him a little too long. Just a fraction. And as he's turning his head back around.
And again, the fact that, and I know, listen, if it's a concussion, those things can take a while to develop. I get that. But for me, it's like the dude played 6 minutes after that and looked fine. And then he gets hit by Foxa and all of a sudden he's out. I'm sorry. Like don't point at a butcher's ass and call it a steak. I can't do the Tommy Boy line either.
But I'd rather take his word for it.
Yeah, right.
All right, whatever.
Like,
I get
for
you.
me, it's like to me, it's like, come on, man. He left the ice right after the Foxa hit. You can't tell me that was from 6 minutes of playing time ago that he got hit by Shen.
That's the follow-up question that I wanted a reporter to ask. Well, why was he playing 6 minutes?
If he's hurt. Why did you let him go back out there?
Yeah, and if it's a concussion thing, because it looks to be a concussion thing, right? So if they're saying, because he was skating in his tracksuit, right? Just doing figure eights and stuff on the ice. This morning or last night, whatever it was.
I think it was yesterday.
Might
have been today.
So anyway, but that there and the online discussion is a concussion protocol. If he's going to do this light skate, and if he has headaches afterwards, it gets pushed back. When he can do stuff again. If he doesn't have headaches, he can progress to other things. So this is kind of part of concussion protocol, what he's doing. So that tells me. So Winnipeg, they say, okay, it's from the Shen hit that he was concussed. But then they put him back out there. They didn't put him in concussion protocol. They played him for 6 minutes and then took him out after the Sundqvist hit, that was another big one. That was a nasty hit.
I'll tell you, if his career ends because of concussions, his lawyer has a great case right there, right? You said it was this hit, but you continued to play him.
Yep.
Pay him his money. That's just
pay the man his money.
Yep.
Yeah, I don't. They're making a weird argument there, right? So that doesn't make any sense to me. Right. You're basically saying we put him back out there with a concussion, which is that's not cool either.
Right. It's to me, it's the propaganda, right? Of it's what you do. It's the coach spinning it to get his players and his fan base riled up, and just dumb.
It's also trying to work the officials too. I'm thinking
it is. It was trying to get Shen at least a fine of some sorts. I'm sorry, that's a clean. That was clean. I'm okay with him calling it 2 minutes because he left his feet a little bit. I'm fine with that. But anything else, 4 minutes, 5 minutes, or a suspension, hell no.
Well, he did get 2 minutes.
He got 2 minutes. 2 minutes for roughing, right?
Well, no, he got 4 actually. He got 2 for roughing, 2 for interference.
But I think his roughing came after the play.
Yeah, right. And that's why I didn't like the interference call, because I didn't think it wasn't interference. Scheifele had just played the puck. And he played the puck, and then it bounced right back to him, right next to him. The puck is right there. So, I'm just saying. It's unfortunate for Scheifele.
I'm not going to fight every battle. I'm okay with conceding a 2-minute penalty on that hit. Mm-hmm. Even though when I heard there was a penalty called, I threw my arms up and I was like, for hitting?
Yeah, I'm not okay with it, because I don't think there should have been one. But
yeah. So on the officiating front tonight, so we have Jean Hebert, who was in the last game. He officiated here in St. Louis, and he'll be joined by Gord Dwyer. So good news for us is we don't have to go through the Kelly Sutherland gong show again. That guy, I used to like him, used to respect him. He's the guy that coined the phrase "you paid the Marty tax" when Brodeur was playing with the Blues and somebody hit him behind the net and got beat up and he didn't call a penalty. So but he's the kind of ref that makes the game about himself. So Jean Hebert, a little worried about him, but we'll see. As long as we don't have Sutherland or Chris Rooney, I'm pretty good with it.
But apparently the Blues are winless when both of these gentlemen are at the helm of the refereeing.
That's great.
Yeah. So let's break that trend, huh?
Yeah.
Is that from Scouting the Refs?
Yes.
Yeah. I love that site. Those are good people.
Yes, great people. They're doing the Lord's work.
They are the Lord's work. So the projected lineups.
Hang on, before we get into that, we haven't even brought up the fact that tonight is a first in Let's Go Blues Radio history.
Oh.
We will be back at Postgame. We're doing 2 shows today.
So the game's over, barring a 6 overtime game that goes till 1 a.m.
Yeah.
If that happens, we're gonna postpone the post-game show and we'll just do our regular show, I guess.
Yeah. Imagine us going live at like 3 a.m. tonight. It's not happening.
Can you imagine a 6 overtime game 7? Holy hell!
No, I don't think my heart can take it. I'll be dead.
Definitely not. Definitely
No. I tell people that, oh my God, that maybe there aren't Blues fans. Oh my God, game 7 against Dallas. That must have been amazing. Double overtime, Maroon's goal. I'm like, no. After it was over, yeah, it was amazing. But during the whole game and overtime, it was painful. It was just stressful and painful, and I'm like having a heart attack every 30 seconds.
I was sitting like this, like I was like curled up in a ball on my couch. I was so like, oh my God, every shot I'm like, oh.
I know.
No, the third period of Game 6 of this series, like no being. Both of my dogs were like, yeah, we're not coming downstairs. It was like there was a controller attached to my spine and I was just like fidgeting the whole time. So I can't imagine how I'm going to be tonight, but
and I'll add too, Bill, you were not here for this. Bill or Kurt and I agreed we're not going right up to puck drop for this one.
Yeah.
Let's end it fairly quicker so I can go use the bathroom, make sure I'm in my seat by the start of the game.
About 6 o'clock. Give or take.
Yeah. Because I've still got to order dinner and all that stuff. So
puck drop won't be like 6:15 or something. So
yep.
I'm good with that. But in the event of a Blues victory, I will be doing victory whiskey. I hope you guys will join me.
Okay.
We're bringing back.
I think I have some.
The old
can find some.
cross-check raise thing from the 2019 run.
I have some Chris Pronger whiskey that I hear is not very good, but
it is not. But I think that might be the only whiskey in the house. For
you know
me
what
as well.
though? I'm not a whiskey guy anyway. It all kind of tastes the same to me. I'm not so I'm like whatever, doesn't matter.
I disagree, but yes,
you disagree that I think all whiskey tastes the same to me.
I disagree. Yes, that's exactly what it is.
That's what I think.
I've been inside your head and I disagree.
Okay. That's the voice I hear.
Yep.
Okay. So Rutherford just like 5 minutes ago posted the lineups for tonight, projected lineups. Apparently Joseph is in. Texte is out. So Buchnevich, Thomas, Kyrou, Neighbors, Shen, Snuggerud, Joseph, Sundqvist, Bolduc, Toropchenko, Foxa, Walker. And then on defense, Fowler, Pareko, Broberg, Falk, Suterletti, and you want to
Joel Hofer in net.
Starting to go for the Blues? Yeah, I know.
I can't believe Joel Hofer's in. What are they doing?
You talk about overthinking the coaching decision. Putting Joel Hofer in tonight.
Oh my God, I would lose my mind. Hey, our friend Vanessa Graff says, "May the 4th be with the Blues. Let's get that W." Yes. By the way, we do not need to get into politics, but did you guys see what Trump posted today?
No, I saw the Pope thing he posted.
It was him. It's him as a jacked.
Oh, I saw that. I just see that.
He's basically a Sith Lord because he's holding the red lightsaber.
He is a Sith Lord. Yeah.
And his thing was about how all the evil's on the left side and how we need to expunge the evil, get rid of the evil. And I'm like, motherfucker, you're holding a Sith lightsaber.
And well, only a Sith deals in absolutes, Jeff.
That's true.
So
That's true. Sorry, that is all I'll say about politics. I just found that so hip.
If there's one thing you can say about Trump, he does deal in absolutes. It's always the best anyone's ever seen, or no one's ever seen anything like it.
Hey, I've always said that if I was force sensitive, I would be Sith. So I am not blaming you, Donald. I'm just saying, lean into it.
All right. I think he is. I don't think he can lean any harder. All right. So what was I talking about? Oh, Binnington's in that. Okay, so Binnington and Hellebuyck in this series. Hellebuyck has been terrible. Binnington has been, hadn't really looked at the save percentage of the series. It's 8.97. It's 109. I would have expected higher this series, but 15 goals against for him, 2.5 goals against average. But he's allowed 10 goals in Winnipeg in the 3 games there so far. Hellebuyck has only faced 20.7 shots per game. He's allowed 23 goals against the series, 3.8 GAA. But his home stats in the series, he's 2-0, 8.97 save percentage, the exact same as Binnington's for the entire series, and he has a 2.00 GAA. So he has played better at home. Granted, it hasn't been tested a ton at home.
I'll tell you the exact same thing that I said before the show. And Bill, I'm interested to get your take as well. I don't think Hellebuyck had a good game 5. I think the Jets defense played very well, and I felt the Blues did not press enough to get more chances on them. And again, I go back to the Snuggerud goal. Horrible goal to give up. Horrible timing. And I just felt like he was shaky the whole game. So I feel like to say he's played better at home, yes. Games 1 and 2 especially. Game 5, I think it was more the Blues not getting shots on him.
Yeah, 100%. Right? They had what was the tally after 2 periods? 11 shots or something like that.
For the Blues, it was
9 shots. No, it was 9 shots.
It was 9 shots.
9 shots after the first 2 periods, and then they got 9 in the third. Right after that Snuggerud goal went in, I expected shots from everywhere. Every time the Blues got the puck, no matter where it was on the ice, I was expecting to start throwing it at the net, because that was just a horrid goal, right? That is a routine save for any goalie in the NHL, even Arvid Soderblom, right? Not, the reigning and going to win it again Vezina Trophy winner has to make that save, and he didn't. And the Blues just couldn't, for whatever reason, pump enough rubber at him until it was too late in this game.
So here's the deal. So game 1, the Blues had a lead going into the third period, and they couldn't hold it, blew it. Game 2, they were tied going into the third period. And game 5, they were trailing by 1, I believe, right, going into the third. So they've been right there in the third period against a team that's very hard to beat at home. Had the lead, and I said this after game 1. I'm like, this game 1 implosion, allowing a couple goals in the second half of the third period to lose. If that comes back to bite them, I'm like, if we lose game 7, I'm looking at game 1, depending on how game 7 goes. I'm like, man, if we had held that lead in game 1, who knows how the series goes. But the third period for me, obviously you want to get a good start. It's very important to have a good first period, get on the board first, be great. But man, they've had trouble finishing in the third period in the first 2 games and in the third, to be honest. So they really need a good third period today. If they don't have a good third period, they lose.
To be honest,
TBS is playing the "Do I Look Nervous" interview right now.
Oh, nice.
That's
nice.
Going to go down forever. And hockey lore, man, that's amazing.
Yeah.
So I'll say that with the Blues' chances, I think if this game goes into the third period tied, and I know it goes against everything we've seen in this series in Winnipeg, I like the Blues' chances.
Well,
I do think that this is going to be a put up or shut up game for them. Montgomery's going to have them pumped. I would, now if they're down by a goal, I don't like their chances, because I think Winnipeg knows how to shut it down. But we've seen Winnipeg have lapses throughout this series, especially with Hellebuyck in goal. So a tie game going in the third, I'm feeling pretty good as a Blues fan.
I guess as a Blues fan, you want to get out to a good start, get on the board first, take the crowd out a little bit if you can, because the crowd's gonna be a big deal. This is general playoff stuff, right? I mean, you want to get on the board first, take the crowd out, and then my God, I mean, figure out a way to get pucks through the net in the third period, or the whole game, because in Winnipeg they have not. I thought they played pretty good in game one, first two periods. Again, third period. It's a third period for me. Third period, I think they'll start fine. Hope they'll start fine. But the third period for me is where the game might be won or lost. So,
yeah.
Vanessa Graff in the chat says Bolduc and Kyrou will score. I'm calling it now. I hope you're right.
Yeah, Bolduc's the guy that I was looking to have a strong series, and he hasn't. If he can pop one on the power play tonight, God, that would be beautiful. And, I don't know how close Dylan Holloway is, but it was running through my mind earlier today, thinking about, potential next round.
Yeah.
Dallas is getting a couple of key guys back, and Heiskanen and who else was out for them. But getting Holloway back and then putting Neighbors down, and, Joseph coming out, Neighbors on the third line with Sundqvist and Bolduc, that's a great line.
I don't think Holloway is skating yet, so that's a
concern. He is skating.
He's been skating. He hasn't been participating in practice.
Yeah, he's not in practice, but he is skating. Yeah. So as far as the Jets lineup goes, real quick, we've got they did pull out Logan Stanley and put back in Fleury on defense. So that's actually not good for the Blues, because that dude is a massive pylon.
Right.
So,
and he was gonna do something stupid tonight. He was doing stupid shit, and God, that man.
That dude is a modern day Brian Marchment, and I say that because he's not as dirty, because it's modern day, but he's a fucking moron.
To be honest, though, Game 7, you gotta figure there aren't going to be maybe as many penalties. If I had to guess, I'd say Game 7 they're just going to call the obvious stuff. I don't think they're going to.
Logan Stanley. I hit. Logan hit hard.
Does anybody want a peanut?
I'm loving my new voice changer. I'm going to get a lot of use out of this.
This is Winnipeg's first Game 7.
It's crazy. It's their first winner take all game on home ice. They went through this the other night. They didn't even have a best of 5 Game 5 in their barn.
That's crazy to me. Because I mean, and this goes back to when they had the Jets the first time, right?
Yep.
No.
You're not counting that.
They did.
This includes when they were the original Jets?
Yes.
Because that's bonkers. Because I mean, they were a playoff team a number of years when they were the old Jets.
They were a decent team for a while,
and then they went to
when they got Solani. They were
good enough.
Solani and Babasensa, and
So this is guys. The fans there are probably just going, as we've done this a lot. Game 7s often. It seems like in our just since we've been fans, not the whole team's history even just.
Right. I mean, in 2019, we took them out at home in Game 6.
Yep.
And I was going to make a point earlier. If you go back to Game 5, Adam Lowry scored 12 seconds into that game or something. So I hope the Blues have that in the memory bank. The 4 or 5 guys on this team that were still there. That it's not the end of the world if that happens, but turn the tables. And if the Blues score early on Hellebuyck, the building is going to sound like a morgue.
Yeah, well, especially if it's a soft goal. I mean, would you feel as a Winnipeg Jets fan, you've got the best goalie in the world during the regular season and one of the worst goalies in the world in the playoffs? What do you expect to win? What do you expect to win in round 2 against Dallas if they win? They're not going to go anywhere with a goalie playing like this. They can't. No. They're not going to win anything. So do you move forward? Like if he shits the bed and they lose Game 7, or say they win this game and he looks bad and they're stuck around lose to Dallas, what do you do with Hellebuyck? Do you keep year after year after year? He's terrible in the playoffs.
You 100% have to keep him, but then you have to get a strong 1B who can spell him in the playoffs. Like Comrie is I think they said he's on his third stint with them now. So it's just a guy that they keep bringing back because of his familiarity. But I think you'd have to they would be dumb to get rid of him, but have to bring in somebody with some playoff pedigree.
I think they need to start looking into his heir apparent, like finding somebody who can take it on in the next couple years and start, being that 1B. So like getting an Askarov, let's say, from when he was with Nashville, that would have been an excellent pickup for Winnipeg, because they don't have been, hey, we've got Hellebuyck, we also got this really awesome young guy who, if he starts starting in the playoffs, maybe Hellebuyck becomes expendable. But I can't think of anyone else like that right now, because San Jose is not going to let go of him.
That was the thing. The story for Hellebuyck coming into these playoffs was his redemption story, right? He had a Vezina season. He's going to turn his playoff history around, and he's going to have a good playoff this year. And it's been more the same, if not worse.
I was talking to some gentlemen in Game 6 in front of me, and they were talking about how, they're like, yeah, if Hellebuyck was my goalie, I would never feel comfortable in the playoffs. And I was like, so let me ask you straight up, Hellebuyck or Binnington? And they were like, Binnington all day. And I'm like, yeah, because he's a big game goalie. Like, maybe he'll have lapses during the regular season, but you put him in a game where he has to win, you get the best goalie, one of the best goalies in the NHL. Big game goalie.
It's not even a question. We have by far the best goalie in the series. Not even close.
Right on cue, Ken Morris, but we got big game Benner.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
So so we'll see, right? You gotta wonder how many times you can go to the well with Binnington in these big huge games and coming up big. When's he due for a stinker in the playoffs, right?
It's gonna. I hate to say it happens to everyone.
I know it does, but I'm like, you're gonna get his best, hopefully, and hopefully it's good enough. So,
yeah. Ken Morris just said Hellebuyck may need a good sports psychiatrist. Did you guys see that awkward interview after Game 5? Him like talking about like how nobody watches more tape than him.
Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah.
You know what that sounded like? You know what that sounded like?
No one studies more goalies than him.
I don't want to bring up politics. It sounds like somebody I know.
Yes.
Nobody watches more tape than me. that was cringy awkward, right? He's like, dude, you can watch all the tape you want. You still got to stop the puck.
Right. Yep. Right. Study it all you want.
Yeah.
Get out of the ice and execute.
That I didn't know that when he gets pulled, or even when he's the backup in the game,
he doesn't sit on the
bench.
He
refuses to sit on the bench.
That's weird to me.
What a fucking teammate, huh?
I don't. Yeah. Even when, like you said, even when games where he's not scheduled to start, he stays in the locker room or whatever. He doesn't sit.
That would be absolutely. I don't give a shit what your superstitions are or whatever. As a coach, I'd be like, no, you are sitting on the bench with your team. If you get pulled from a game and you need 5 to 10 minutes to go cool off in the locker room, sure. But if you're not scheduled to start and you still refuse to come out on the bench, no, absolutely not. You are sitting your ass right there for 3 periods.
The only way that I see that as acceptable whatsoever is if it's just, like he explains it at the very, at the outset with every new coach. Winnipeg's been through a few of those, and says it's just part of my concentration, right? I when I get out there and I sit on the bench, too many other thoughts get clouding my head, like having to focus on team sport, whatever. I'm just saying, I think it's terrible as a guy that's picked enough splinters out of his ass in his life. It's not an acceptable thing to me.
No,
but it's just bizarre. And
I would for me as a coach, I would just say, okay, well, you're a big boy. Put on your fucking big boy pants and come out and join your teammates. Like, sorry, that's part of being a goalie.
I agree with you. He should be out there supporting his team, out there for support. Whatever. He might have a piece of advice to give a teammate that he sees from watching the game. I don't know.
Well, and it's like, and I know that, he's a polarizing figure on this show, but Jake Allen, He was on the bench giving tips to Binnington all throughout the 19 playoffs. You're telling me that Eric Comrie's not doing that a little bit for you, and when he's in net, he couldn't benefit from your eye as well? Like, what the fuck, man? Like, be a teammate. I that drives me. I like Connor Hellebuyck. I actually do. It's been fun giving him shit. But as an American goalie, I'm like, I'm going to have to root for him in the Olympics, so I might as well kind of like him. But I got to tell you, that's something that really pisses me off.
We should probably close up here in about 2 minutes. So what do the Blues need to do tonight to win? Go.
Shoot the damn puck. Shoot the damn puck.
I think they need to play very physical. We talked last show, Bill and I, about getting the forecheck going early. I know that sounds like a keys to the game, which is the most ridiculous shit on TV broadcasts, but I do think they need to get physical. They need to start the forecheck. Don't let Winnipeg start in the offensive zone. When they get that pressure, that's when it gets scary and the Blues can't clear the puck. Keep coming at them. Don't let them set up. Score some fucking goals. Get some shots on Hellebuyck. I think Blues got this one. I really do.
I think it comes down to me. It's puck management. I think if they can, because when they've been frustrating me in the series, they couldn't do anything in the series. It's been because they have just not been able to handle the puck very well. They've been, they couldn't handle Winnipeg's pressure, bad passes, which leads to not a lot of offensive zone time, doesn't allow second chances. Poor neutral zone play. Puck management to me is what it's all about. I think if you manage the puck well, pass the puck well, find your passing lanes and shooting lanes, I think everything else falls into place. I think the shots come on net. I think we get guys open. I think we score some goals. I think we win this game if we manage the puck well and play well. As far as making good decisions with the puck and executing those decisions well.
Consensus in the chat here, basically exact same, Kurt. Yeah, I would say press, get shots, play your game. I said that at the start of game 5 too. Make Winnipeg play your game. You dictate play.
And Kyrou, I'd love to see Kyrou pot one.
Oh, go off.
I mean,
have
he needs to. He's due,
game, right?
He's due.
Yeah. I loved Matt Harris's comment earlier about it's going to be so loud in that building. They pop the roof off. Kyrou realizes it's an outdoor game and he goes off.
yes, let's do it.
All right.
Well, it's up to you, Kurt, if you want to do our typical closing or if you just want to say we'll see a post game.
That'll wrap up episode 32 of season 14 of the original St. Louis Blues Hockey Podcast, Let's Go Blues Radio. Thanks for listening, and thanks to those who participated in the YouTube and Facebook live chats. I'm trying to say it as I can during the live show. We hope you enjoyed it as much as we've enjoyed bringing it to you. For Jeff Ponder, Bill Day, and I'm Kurt Price. Until next time, everyone, 2 things Winnipeg doesn't have: an airport and a playoff goalie. Let's go Blues.
Let's go Blues.
Let's go Blues. Fuck you, Connor.
Welcome to the Game 7 post-game show between the Blues and the Jets. Just ended a few minutes ago. Double overtime. The Jets score. Who scored in overtime?
It was Lowry.
Lowry scores off of Sundqvist's knee.
Which freaking Bissonnette picked it.
Well, actually, if it went off Sundqvist's knee, then it wasn't Lowry.
Well, unless it went off him after Sundqvist. But
yeah. It only looked to change direction one time, but it doesn't matter because the Blues wouldn't take any shots like that.
Yeah, I was very, like everybody, I'm sure, was very frustrated that they'd pull up, they'd throw the puck to the point, and then they'd dump it in the corner. I'm like, throw it on net. I mean, this is overtime, right?
Right.
Goals go in. Just like Winnipeg's overtime goal. It goes off a knee, it goes in. So, and they weren't generating stuff. I mean, they just time and time again. And, shifts get shorter the longer overtime goes. I get it. But, man, it was really hard to generate anything sustained when they take 20, 30-second shifts and they just – that's it. They're off. Can they dump it in and make a change? So, it went from within 2 minutes of one of the more impressive Blues – series victories in a while to Winnipeg's greatest playoff
I
game.
tell you who has gone down in my book that I am sour on. And hey, end of the day, great season, great entertainment. We'll get to all that. But I will say there is one player that I am pissed the fuck off at, and I am slightly pointing my finger at. If you didn't fuck up, the Blues win this game, and that is Pavel Buchnevich.
Yeah. Yep.
That sailing it over the net with 40 seconds left?
50, I think. But yeah.
Nobody on him. He's all alone. What was the last time he did that? Do you guys remember? Oh, it was a goalie goal against the Blues. Like, what are you doing? Skate the puck, hold on to it, then dump it in, put it on net, whatever you need to do. Don't shoot it from your own fucking zone when there's no one on you.
It's like he panicked.
Stupid.
No,
you can't panic.
He's done that all fucking year where he just makes an airheaded play when there's a simple, easy, like take 2 strides, make a pass. And that's all he had to do. And Thomas would have been behind that.
Well, here's the thing is that Thomas was to his left.
Mm-hmm.
All he has to do is slide the puck to bank it off the boards. Thomas's left, and Thomas has an empty net.
Yep.
He could have thrown open space ahead of Thomas, and he's got an empty net.
Or just flip it high out of the zone. There's a million different things he could have done. He did the one stupid thing.
Yeah.
Right.
I know that it's become the thing to do, to just ice it constantly. And that never used to be the case. And you saw some disagreement there on the TNT panel. How Bissonnette said that it was a mistake to keep icing it, but then what's his face said Bonus said, well, the numbers say, that's why they do it now. The numbers say it's better to do it that way. Whatever. That was the reason why they tied that game. And Perfetti, the second goal, my God, that was a great goal.
The first goal, the tip,
right? Yeah. The one that got him on the board, right? Correct.
Yeah. That's guy's going to be a superstar, right?
Yeah.
But the Blues did it again, right? On the tying goal, Kyle fucking Connor has nobody within 20 feet of him, and he's on the boards. Somebody has to be on him. We've known this the entire fucking year, right? That is what he does. He will get lost in coverage and go to the boards, and nobody fucking saw him do that.
That's what you want to see Kyrou do, right?
But
we don't ever fucking see it. We want to see him get lost in coverage,
right?
And it never seems to happen. There's a lot of things. There's a couple people in the chat here who are being positive. Good for you. We will get to positive. I think we are well in our right as Blues fans to be a little negative.
Right. We're venting right now.
This was a game that they absolutely should have won. Absolutely should have won.
I mean, you bitched before in our pregame, Kurt. You bitched about game 1, like letting go the lead. They get a 3-1 fucking lead in the third period, and you gave up 2 goals with under 2 minutes left. That can't happen.
Fox's goal to make it 3-1 with 35 seconds to go in the second period. That should have been the game. Right. That was such a huge goal. Going up by 2, late goal before the third period starts. That should have been the goal that broke Winnipeg. And they didn't get on the board until less than 2 minutes to go in the game. The second goal.
Right.
So it's like
shitty fucking bounce.
Yeah.
And they were willing to throw it at the net. The Blues weren't. Right. And that's gonna piss me off. The other thing that I didn't like getting down into the last 2 minutes is Montgomery never fucking spent his time out, right? You do something to disrupt it, right? Why are you going to put that in your pocket when it's a game 7? Do something to disrupt them. Let the Jets draw their play up, get out there, and then call the timeout as soon as they go to the pit.
I think
Winnipeg took the timeout with like 2 minutes to go.
Right. What I'm saying is counteract that. Right, that it can be a mental fucking
2.5,
fuck with them kind of thing, and I just didn't understand that.
So I'll say my biggest problem with the tips, the blown coverage. Now I'll say Suitors, I think, was just unlucky.
Right.
That shit just fucking unbelievable bounce for Winnipeg.
Which
but the other ones,
they've scored a handful of goals like that, unbelievably lucky bounces.
Yes,
early in the
imagine
series in
that.
Winnipeg.
And I know other fans of other teams will say, hey, you guys at least won a cup. But that is the Blues' MO, to give up weird, bullshit, bouncy goals in the playoffs. And it's still happening. The one year it didn't was when they won the cup. But no, the thing that drives me crazy is that a lot of this blown coverage stuff that's happening, what do we hear about our defense? They're the most veteran defense, and they're great to have for these forwards out here that are young and they're locked in for years. I'm sorry, the blown coverage we saw in the losses this series, awful. That can't happen.
Right.
That just can't happen.
You cannot allow Connor to be that far open and Perfetti to be open in the slot. Where is Parayko, and who was the other one that was there? Was it Neighbors? That they could have got their stick on it to tie him up, and nowhere near him. Right, everybody is down below the fucking goal line again.
The only goal I had a problem with was the tying goal. That was because the first one was all right. I mean, that was a fantastic play. And the second one was lucky for Winnipeg. But the third one, the tying goal. So many things could have prevented that goal. Coverage being the last line of defense that was dropped the ball. We lost three faceoffs too late. They kept winning faceoffs. We couldn't win an own zone faceoff there in the last few drops, and Buchnevich's brain fart, which was bad. And Winnipeg's overtime goal was, I had no problem with the Blues play on that particular shot. I was just unlucky, went off Sanchez's knee.
Here's the thing with Buchnevich. You skate it to the red line and get a shot. Fine. You didn't do that to me. You fucking put that puck in the net. This game's over. That game is over. And he fucking ices it and shoots it over the net. I know I've already bitched about this, but to me, that was the play that sealed the Blues' fate. Mm-hmm. Pavel Buchnevich, I hope you have a very, very long summer. My God, that was stupid.
I want so hard to like Buchnevich because I really do like his attitude. I think he's a funny guy. I think he's entertaining on the ice, but he does it's almost like he panics too often during the regular season, in this series, and that play that cost the Blues that icing. It's just like I find myself more frustrated with him than most players on the Blues, and that Kairu's up there. Led the team in score. I get it. But
when you're soft as baby shit in the corner,
in this game in particular, and in overtime in particular, Kairu was ineffective. And I know a lot of people were, because the defense gets so tight. But man, if you watched Kairu, you see your best goal scorer, you're like, okay, let's do something. And he gets wedged off the puck all the time.
So easy. I feel like I could knock him off the puck. Like, it's ridiculous.
Any board battle, he's getting wedged off. He can't fight through a check on the boards. He's just not built that way, which is fine. But you got to make it up in other areas in the playoffs.
You got to move your feet. You have to move your feet and be the guy that's coming back, right? We thought that was all going to get corrected after he was standing still and Nathan McKinnon blew by him back in 21, right?
So you know who was guilty of that in the second overtime? And I know they're tired, but there was a play where the puck was coming towards Robert Thomas, and if he would have stepped up in the neutral zone, he would have stolen the puck and then moved in for a scoring chance. Instead, he waited for the puck to come to him, and the Jets player just skated in and took the puck and went right around him. And I'm like, you can't just stand there, Thomas. What are you doing? It's like these mental mistakes that these guys that we're relying on to be the big player, that can't happen. Like, and that's the thing that I think frustrates me the most. We can talk about, the development of Bolduc, and again, the Snuggerud, there's a lot of positives, and we're going to get to that, I promise. But the thing that bothers me is the veteran play in this series. when it mattered most, I feel like a lot of the veterans truly let us down. And that is concerning for the future of this team.
I'm not there. Because we were 2 minutes away from beating the President's Trophy winning team. We should have won. And in the chat, Winnipeg Goldman, amazing series, boys. Congrats on win that. You know what? I mean, I assume that's the greatest playoff game in Jets history. Has to be. Has to be.
Yeah.
I mean, it's one of the best playoff games of all time. 2 goals, game 7 to tie it, and then double overtime winner. I mean, come on.
Yeah, it definitely includes the old Jets too. So yeah, I agree with that.
Yeah. No, congrats. We went through it in 19 with the jubilation a handful of times in the playoffs. And so, I'm sure you're very ecstatic about this game. But,
no, and good for Winnipeg. They deserve the win. And I've always said that the best team always wins the series. Winnipeg was the better team. I think in 7 games,
they were the
Winnipeg,
better.
They took advantage of their chances. They found the Blues' weaknesses, and they won. And I have no ill will towards Winnipeg. I'm not saying, oh, God, the Blues got screwed. I think there was plenty. I will say your head coach annoys me a little bit more now. But outside of that,
yeah,
I think I would say this. I would say I thought this series was dead even because Winnipeg, if not favoring the Blues, and hear me out, Winnipeg wins all their games in Winnipeg. The last game barely, and they had to come from behind in game 1, and it was tied in game 2 in the third period. Game 2 in the third period, the Blues dominated in St. Louis. Wasn't even close. So every home team won their home games, but if you're gonna place it, well, how dominant were the Blues in St. Louis versus the Jets in Winnipeg? I had the Blues overall in this series. I think the Blues played them dead even, if not maybe outplayed them overall. Just because if you look at the games head to head, as far as like Winnipeg squeaking by the Blues in game 1 with the late goal in regulation to win, and then in this game. So, and the Blues, there was none of that in St. Louis.
But this is kind of my point of the veteran issue, though. Winnipeg's best players were Winnipeg's best players. The Blues' best players were not typically their best players. Nathan Walker was one. Nothing against the guy. He had a great playoff, but it's just that should not be the guy you're highlighting on the score sheet. Like, oh, did you see that Nathan Walker goal? Where the fuck is Robert Thomas? I bitched about him years ago in the playoffs. Felt like he disappeared. He disappeared in this game. He was terrible. Jordan Kyrou, terrible. Thomas Vucinovic, terrible.
Thomas was bad. Thomas a couple times. He had the puck in the slot with a chance to fire it, and he tries to pass to Kyrou like 2 shifts in a row.
And the one pass that Kyrou blew right past him.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. It was just.
He's like, you could tell he's like, I've got to shoot this really hard. I'm gonna pass it. Like the mind didn't adjust from one thing to another.
Thomas has arguably the best wrist shot on the team, and he's got the puck in the slot. Once was it? Both went overtime, and he just passes the puck. I'm like, what are you doing? You've got a goalie who played very well in overtime. Got help from a post on Walker's shot. Speaking of Walker, he almost won it for the Blues in overtime. Hit the post.
That unbelievable that didn't go in.
I know.
I don't know. It's such a heartbreaking way to lose. But we were the last team in the playoffs, and the Jets were the President's Trophy winner. We took them close. The Blues have to use this. Thomas and Kyrou, the core of this team, have to learn from this and have to have a better mentality going forward. And I'll say this for Dallas, you're welcome. Winnipeg's gonna get swept in 4. They are banged up after this series, and Dallas has Heiskanen and Robertson. Thank you, Vanessa Graff from the earlier show.
Yes,
coming back.
And I mean, Hellebuyck, who isn't anything special. He's so I mean,
the only thing Winnipeg has going for him is they've got home ice advantage through the entire playoffs. So if they can make that work for them somehow, I just don't know what they're like. If they're gonna have to roll out what's his name, Logan Stanley, through that Dallas series, it's not going to be pretty for them.
Dallas is licking their chops if he's out there.
Yeah,
and nothing against the Jets as a whole, but their depth is really going to be exposed.
Yeah, especially if Scheifele's out for an extended period.
I think I texted you guys when Winnipeg tied it. And I was like, it just felt like that Vancouver game that Bill and I were at late in the season, that the Blues blew the lead, but then won overtime. I was spent. I was so, I up 2-0 and then 3-1 going into the third. You don't want to think too positively, right? But you're feeling good up by a couple of goals, and then up by a couple of goals, with a couple minutes to go. You're like, okay, they didn't get an early goal in the third. They didn't get one midway. They okay, they got the second one, fine. But man, and then when they get that tying goal with 2 seconds to go, it's like I was spent. I was emotionally exhausted. Physically, I was drained. The winds went out of my sails. And I told you guys, I'm like, I'm spent. I feel like we just lost the game. And I hope the team didn't feel that way. And I thought in the first overtime, I thought the Winnipeg came out the first few minutes and played really well, had some chances. Then the Blues kind of settled in and they had some chances. And I thought it was a pretty good first overtime.
Oh, that Ehlers breakaway save was fantastic.
Yeah. Right. And that's, that I think that goes, to it, right? That it came down, like Binnington wasn't going to be that save on Niederreiter on the deflection. That is unworldly that Binnington was able to get the puck under his pad and trap it. Right. That's perfect positioning. And then the Ehlers breakaway save, god damn. And again, I go back to it, like so frustrating that we wouldn't just float some shots through trying to beat the traffic, and that's what wound up winning.
I had to laugh on the play where Winnipeg almost scored, the one they reviewed, and it was funny because initially you're like, okay, you think Binnington has it, and it squirts free well after the whistle blew, and it squirts free. And you see Preko kind of pull it off the goal line. And you didn't see it go in real time. Then you see the replay where the puck's on the pad, and it's like, oh, that's halfway across the line. It didn't go over, and there's no shot of the puck going in at all. And it's okay. Well, I'm pretty sure they're gonna say it's no goal.
Right.
And then they come and they say it's no goal, and the whole building is like, because they saw the video replay, and all of a sudden they were like, oh, like they saw it go in. I thought, uh-oh, did they show an angle they haven't shown on TV yet because they show it going in? And they didn't. The crowd is just going nuts, and they announced no goal, and the crowd goes boo. I'm like, what did you guys see? It didn't go in.
The puck, even after the whistle, the puck never went in.
I know.
Right. Well, and if it did, Perfetti pushed him in. Right. He pushed Binnington's pad. No way that's a goal.
Yeah, it was kind of funny. I'm like, what are you guys booing like crazy for? It clearly didn't go in. That was funny. Let's see. Ken Morris says Jordan Kyrou is our Mitch Marner.
Yeah, he gets a lot of hate in Toronto.
I think that's unwarranted though, but that's just me. I'll trade Kyrou for Marner. Let's see. Div by Zero says Dallas in 4. Rantanen is going to feast on Hellebuyck. Yeah, I really hate predicting a sweep, but man.
That game, I don't know if you boys watched that game last night, but that is the shit of legends.
Yeah.
Right. The team that trades you.
That was
the team that trades you, and my computer is deciding to mess with me here. And you go off for a hat trick in the third period to talk about.
You just put the team on your back and say, no, I got this, boys. Well, and then whoever was doing the in between the benches color commentary, the on the ice level stuff.
Was it Cody Shelley?
Boucher. I thought it was Boucher.
Was he?
But Rantanen skated by. And he goes, well, I can't repeat what he said on TV, but it was pretty much take that, Colorado.
Yep, it was Boucher.
And I was like, wow. I mean, so obviously, and after the game, he tried to say nice things about the players and the team and everything. He didn't, those was his brothers and all that stuff. But I imagine that comment was pretty much towards the ownership and maybe the coaching staff, whoever had a hand in wanting him gone and not being able to resign him.
Yeah,
So.
and let's just, we can say it. We need any feel good things we can here, but fuck Stan Kroenke. Your team lost last night.
Yeah, that did feel good.
Yeah.
I enjoyed that.
And we can talk about positives, but I didn't like was before game 6, I guess it was, and before game 7, you saw some rumblings. Well, whatever happens, the Blues had a really good finish to the season, and I'm like, blah, blah, blah. There's plenty of time for moral victories after the season's over, whenever that is. Why say that now? I'm like, full steam ahead, balls to the wall, focus on this game. Let's win this fucking game. I sound like a player, but it's like, as a fan, a diehard fan, you have that mentality. So
yeah, I'll say for me, I just, we'll have a postseason wrap up show this week. We'll probably speak to a lot.
Not this week.
Yeah,
come on, man.
This week. Yeah.
We've done 2 shows already this week.
Yeah, that's true. We'll do
it's going to take a while to recover from this.
We'll do a season wrap up show here pretty soon. Let's just say that. And yeah, so we'll talk more of the positives of the season, but I'll say, man, the glaring issue that is, I don't know if it's a coaching thing, if it's a defense thing, I don't know. The giving up leads late. I don't care what hockey team you are in the NHL. When you have a 2-goal lead, you should be able to hold it that late in the game. And the Blues were the absolute worst this season at holding a lead late. Like, that's not just playoffs. That was regular season too. It was a constant problem.
And twice in the series. So game 1, they allowed the tie and go with how many seconds to go? It was, and then in game 7, they allowed 2 in the last 2 minutes. So that's unacceptable. But
just can't happen.
No, but it does. That's why people love the NHL playoffs, because stuff like this happens.
Right, but when you see it in the regular season and it continues into the postseason, that is clearly a glaring team issue.
Just saying. Game 7. Remove yourself from the Blues side of this and and try and be a neutral fan and say, my God, Winnipeg scored 2 goals in the last 2 minutes to tie the game with their goalie pulled in a game 7 and then won in double overtime. Greatest game in Winnipeg Jets history, and it kind of sucks the Blues are part of that. It's like the Yzerman goal. We're gonna be on highlight compilations for Winnipeg for a long time.
The Perfetti tying goal, right? That is this generation's Yzerman goal.
Yeah, I agree. I agree that it's a great moment for Winnipeg. I'm just saying, when it's a glaring problem we've called out all season, that needs to be a focus for the coaching staff this summer.
Yeah. No, that great comment. It's got to focus on the mental toughness end of the game, because I think that's really where the Blues failed down the stretch tonight.
And I know Divide by Zero in the chat here. The problem is with the lead, the team turtles, then is not a winning strategy for this team. Unfortunately, I just think that is part of the game, because the other team's coming so hard that mentally you're just like, we just got to lift the puck up and out. And for some teams, it's just, the Winnipeg Jets are a perfect example of a team that never, ever, ever gives up. And they had the Blues' number late in the game tonight.
Any coach has talked about this, about going into a shell, the last so many minutes of the game to try and protect the lead. They say they don't coach that. That's just like you said, it's like a thing that players just inherently do, and it makes sense. You don't want to make a mistake. You don't want to get caught up ice. You want to make sure that you stay back. You're playing D is first and foremost. There's nothing wrong with having a first and foremost D mentality. But if you're going to play D, you play D. Don't play a soft D. If you're going to protect a 2-goal lead with 5 minutes to go, that's fine. I'm fine with dumping the puck out, playing it safe with 5 minutes to go. 2-goal lead, absolutely. 1-goal lead, not so much. 2-goal lead, absolutely. Sit on it, turtle it. 5 minutes to go, yes. But if you're going to do that, you got to execute defensively. You can't I mean, you know what they're going to do.
Right. But the thing that we kept seeing is when the Blues were successful in defending the Jets, they were taking away the slot. And what they didn't do and in the with Perfetti's tying goal was get anybody into the slot. He was wide open. Two guys there that should never be wide open. And yeah, I've been corrected by a president of the United States of America.
George Washington says, not even close to compare this to the Yzerman goal. That was a contending team with the Stanley Cup aspirations. This team isn't that. First of all, that Blues team finished under 500 during the season.
Mm-hmm.
They didn't have Stanley Cup. We had Gretzky. They weren't playing good hockey. They were kind of built for the playoffs, but they didn't. I didn't think they had Stanley Cup aspirations that year necessarily. And two,
well,
that
we all
comment
wanted
was
it because we bought Gretzky.
Yeah, well, I get it. You've got some Hall of Famers on the team, but they were under 500 that season.
Yeah.
So, but the thing is with that is that comment wasn't comparing the Blues team to that Blues team. It was comparing that moment for Winnipeg. That was for Winnipeg. That's their double overtime Yzerman goal moment. This game
Did you say Yzerman?
Yzerman, whatever. That's what it is. This is the greatest moment in Winnipeg Jets history. Their greatest playoff game. So of course, this is going to be compared to that for Detroit. Now that's one of Detroit's greatest moments in playoff history. Granted, it wasn't a cup clinching goal, but it was very significant.
And we have our own, the Pat Maroon goal.
Yes, right. Oh man, you know what? How many times you see them play like a clip? I don't. You guys watch the TNT or the?
We watched.
As soon as we're done here, I am canceling FanDuel. I don't give a fuck about the Cardinals. I'm canceling that shit tonight.
I watched FanDuel and they played the Maroon goal at some point in overtime, and I was like, okay. I mean, how many times you see them do some kind of a flashback clip, and then something happens on the ice good after that? It seemed like the perfect moment for something to happen for the Blues in that game, and it just didn't happen. We're gonna. Not what he said. He said, for this generation of Blues fans.
Maybe. I mean, to this point, maybe.
We'll see what the Jets do. If the Jets get swept,
I'll tell you what.
Next round,
it has nothing. It has nothing to do with the aspirations of the team. It's just the gut wrenching loss.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, this is up there with that Yzerman goal as far as gut wrenching, because this game was won. This game was in the bag, and then all of a sudden it wasn't, just like that in the blink. So I get it. It's comparable. Come on. Gee, how can you not compare like two gut-wrenching moments? This is going to be a moment that you remember where you were, right? So when that game was tied.
Mm-hmm.
So
yep, I collapsed in front of my TV.
I couldn't believe it. I mean,
just like that Vancouver game when Besser scored with the second left. I was standing up, I was excited, and then I just fell. And that's exactly what happened tonight.
They tied the game on their very last chance.
Yep. I thought you were going to say Winnipeg scored with their very last shot.
Yeah.
I mean, it's true. Yeah. No, it's it sucks. But again, I mean, and we'll be more positive with our season wrap-up show, but I mean, again, like this was an incredible season. They were not supposed to be here.
Right.
They're way ahead of schedule with the moves that Armstrong made. We saw a lot of Jimmy Snuggerud this year. I think next year it's the year of Dvorsky. There's a lot of positives coming.
Yeah.
Dylan Holloway not playing in this series made a huge difference. He neutralizes so much of the Jets' speed.
Well, and Ehlers didn't start the series, and then Scheifele didn't finish the series. I mean, they had their injuries too. But yes, not having Holloway. If we have Holloway, God, that sucked. He went down. That sucked because that was such a big part of the Blues offense.
Yeah,
being able
win streak on the forecheck. I mean, that was his forte.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he is the forechecker that we wish Kyrou was.
Mm-hmm.
I just want to see anything out of Kyrou without the puck. Like, anything without the puck, and then anything with the puck. Honestly, when he's not shooting, like it'd be nice to see him win a puck battle once. I mean, it's so rare. It's just, I know that's not his game, but man, you're in the NHL. You have to be able to battle for the puck in the corner. And if you get checked, not just have it instantly pop off your blade. Like that's got to be cleaned up in his game. But I just feel like this is the Kyrou we're getting, right? Like he's been in the league now, 4 years? I think this is Jordan Kyrou, and it's just not going to change. And I don't like that because he's supposed to be one of the stars of this team.
He matured. I thought during the regular season, he showed a lot more maturity than seasons past. And it's been a couple of years since they've been in the playoffs, and maybe he forgot it. He's got to take this to heart. If he is not, better in key situations next year, yeah, it's time to move on. But yeah, I mean, so disappointing to watch him just not being effective when we need it.
Did you guys see the Blues bench when they after the Winnipeg tied the game? They showed the Blues bench like a replay of how the Blues bench reacted to the goal. They were just distraught. Toropchenko was just like his head he just slumped. I mean, obviously, right? But yeah, that was just a dejecting moment. Like I said, I mean the team didn't take chances in overtime. They didn't do enough to win in overtime. They didn't funnel pucks to the net enough in overtime against the goalie who was obviously shaky. I don't know. It sucks. Congrats, Winnipeg. You're gonna lose in round 2, probably.
Yeah. I mean, no Scheifele, no Morrissey. Yeah, they're
Blues blew them up during this round. I think I will say, no matter what, I think either team loses to Dallas. I think they came out of this series just bruised and beaten, and I think either way, Dallas wins this in 5 or 6 games. But
I think the only way the Blues were gonna, the Blues did have in their back pocket for some reason they have Dallas's number in the playoffs. So
yeah,
that's
I think the Blues could have taken Dallas to 7, but I think Dallas would have exacted revenge for 19.
It'd have been hard to pick the Blues in that series.
Yeah.
So
So who you boys gonna take from here on out?
Go Dallas Stars. Jake Ottinger, your Conn Smythe winner.
You know what? I actually do kind of want Dallas to beat Winnipeg quite a bit. Actually,
I do.
I hated Colorado for making me root for Dallas even more than I hated them before. But yeah, I'm kind of hate Winnipeg for making me root for Dallas again. So it's like I don't like Dallas. I don't like Winnipeg. But I think
I don't hate Dallas, but I also love Jake Ottinger, so that's a big part for me. But I don't want the Stars to win, but I think the path is there for them.
Yeah, I mean, it'll be interesting to see with Connor Hellebuyck, right? If this series exercised the demons and he can make a save on, the away ice, it'll be interesting. But I just think we tenderized them a little too much for them to survive the next round. I think I'm going to have to go all in on the Canadian wet dream of Edmonton, Toronto in the final this year.
That would be awesome. I would actually love that.
That I would love it too.
It's never going to happen, but that'll be my hope, at least until the end of the next round.
I'm not high on Edmonton. I like Florida. I like Dallas as far as winning, but cup.
Yeah, especially if Mikko Rantanen plays at all like he did last night.
Oh my God,
still can't believe that Colorado traded him and he wound up in Dallas.
Yeah, let's trade him because we can't sign him. I'm like, yeah, do you want to win this year or not?
Don't go for the cup this year, then I guess, huh?
Yeah, right. Just throw it away. So I mean, I don't know.
They got a lot better player than Carolina did. I mean, no stink on Stankoven. He's still in it, right? But that's oof.
Div by Zero likes Florida and Vegas.
Just what every hockey fan wants, a Florida and Vegas final, right?
You like Vegas over Dallas, huh? Eventually.
There
you go.
Yeah, no, I'm like Jeff. I like Ottinger. I really think that the problem for Edmonton is going to be goaltending. They rode Pickard, but they don't have. No matter who they go up against the rest of the way, they have the inferior goaltending. So,
yep,
it would have to be McJesus, like taking them to the promised land, scoring 11 goals a game or something. But
seems like Washington hasn't had a game in forever.
Yeah,
I mean,
knocking out my Canadians.
George Washington says Dallas and Florida final. I can see that.
Yeah, that'd be good.
That's probably what I would pick if I'm picking. But although you know what? I mean, it's. I like watching Toronto play just because of the shit show that comes with the brouhaha surrounding Toronto. All the coverage and all the, can they exercise the demons? Can they finally win a playoff series and get to the cup? Can they finally win a cup for the first time in 50, whatever the fuck years? So,
well, now that they have Berube, I am rooting for Toronto to do something.
I mean, I don't think they get past Florida, but we'll see.
A long series would be fun. I'd love to see them go 7 at least.
I'd love a game 7 overtime. That's why I think this game was probably great for hockey in general. Just like, oh my God, is the impartial hockey fan or the fan watching this just because they're a fan of hockey probably love this game.
So yeah, I was telling Jessica upstairs, like, I'm literally like, oh, sorry, I'm starting to hit that point. I'm starting to come down a little bit. I'm literally like sitting there like this, like just rocking back and forth, my hands between my legs, and she's like, God, you're a wreck. And I'm just like, I hate this. I hate every minute of this. And she goes, but you love playoff overtime hockey. And I'm like, not when it's my team.
Yeah.
I'm like, I will watch any other team and fucking have the time of my life. But Blues overtime game 7, no, absolutely not.
I mentioned that in the pregame. I was like, I hate the Dallas in 2019, the game 7. I hated it.
Oh, it was horrible.
Afterwards, it was amazing. But during it, I was a mess. I hate it. It was an emotional, stressful wreck. It was not fun. This game was not fun in overtime at all. No. None of it was.
No. Nope.
So,
no. Down to the last 3 minutes of this game, it was not fun.
Right.
The last 3 minutes of regulation. That is.
I'll be honest. I didn't have fun all night. Even when they were up by 2, I was like, I hate this. This game just needs to end. That clock needs to move faster.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I thought that they had a good chance of moving on, but I thought, I don't trust any of this. Let the clock get to 0, and then I'll feel happy.
All right. I guess we'll be doing a season recap show just to talk about things. At some point coming up, we'll let you know when.
I guess I should. Let's have a little bit of happy news here to close up Let's Go Blues Radio. This summer, I'm doing a very interesting thing, and I'm hoping Bill and Kurt will be able to come out a couple times. We'll be interviewing select people. I don't want to name any names yet because I haven't gotten official confirmations, but we'll be having local people from St. Louis in the hockey community coming out to face me in some NHL 94. And I will be interviewing these people as we play NHL 94. So I think that is going to be a lot of fun.
You can't rub your stomach and pat your head at the same time. How are you going to play NHL 94 and interview somebody at the same time?
Well, it's the fact that I've never lost in NHL 94.
You never played me, have you?
I figure I need a good I need something that might push in the favor of the other person.
All right. Where's this going to happen? This is going to happen in
The Bar Down Sports Bar over in South County. The only hockey bar in South County is what they say. I don't know if that's true, but sure, let's go with it. It's actually inside All American Sports Mall. So that'll be awesome.
Do they have the setup for the game? Are you going to bring your system or what?
I'm going to bring my system. They've got all the TVs we would need, all the connections we'd need. I'm going to stop in this week, and now that the season's over, and get everything squared away.
Cool.
But yeah, hoping you guys especially. I'll have you guys on, and we'll play some NHL 94.
That'd be great.
So
that'd be fun. I want to do that. Yeah. Sounds awesome. Okay.
Yep. We don't have any dates on it yet. Like I said, still working things out. I don't know. This might count as this week's show. Maybe we'll do our wrap up next week. I don't know. We'll see. Bill says he needs time, and I'm okay with that.
Sunday is the first day of the week, so
that's true.
Yeah, and I have a pretty hectic schedule this week.
All right. Well, let's just say season wrap up show next week, folks.
Yep, and that'll wrap up our post game show for Game 7, 2025 against the Jets, episode 33 of season 14. I guess 2 episodes in one evening of the original St. Louis Blues hockey podcast, Let's Go Blues Radio. Thanks everyone for listening and participating in YouTube and Facebook live chats during the live show. We hope you enjoyed it as much as we've enjoyed bringing it to you. For Jeff Ponder and Bill Day, I'm Kurt Price. Until next time, everyone, we lost to a team that didn't have an airport.
1.6 seconds, and we would have been home free.
I got nothing.
All right.
The Chiefs are at home tonight against Cyanosport at the War Memorial at 8. Good seats are still available.
A look at sports.
I think that went very well.
Thank you for listening to Let's Go Blues Radio. Now take off, hosers.
I want you to have a heart attack and die so that we never have to do this shit again.
Well, there's 90 minutes of your life you'll never get back. Sorry.
St. Louis Blues, St. Louis Blues. Have you heard the news about our St. Louis Blues? They've only just begun, they're on their way to number 1. Now there's no more blues for our St. Louis Blues. The Blues are on the ice tonight again. They're rough and tough and got the stuff to win. They'll always get one more, no matter what the score. They are quite a hockey team, my friend.